रशिया आणि चीन हे दोन जगातील असे देश आहे की त्यांच्या वर्तनाबद्दल कुठलाही अंदाज करता येणार नाही. द बिहेवियर ऑफ Russia and China has been unpredictable. Let us first go to China. China betrayed India. Then Prime Minister of India propagated Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai and presented before the world the Panchashila Tattva. But the history has proved that the Prime Minister trust in Chinese was naive. And the Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai was repaid back by China when China invaded India on 20th October 1962. 20 ऑक्टोबर 1962ला चीनने भारतावर आक्रमण करून भारताच्या पाठीत आणि भारताच्या पंचशील आणि हिंदीच्या चीनी भाई भाई या तत्कालीन तत्वज्ञानावर सुरा खुपसला आणि विश्वासघात केला. China launched an offensive across the border and the ill-prepared Indian forces were routed. It proves that blind faith in the neighbor and neglect at the defense mechanism to protect the borders of the country, India had to pay a heavy price for that. India's line of defense crumbled. Nehru pleaded for US help, which was far away, and since the foreign diplomacy was not geared up for unforeseen circumstances, 11th hour help from a remote country is impossible. The war ended after a month, and China had a decisive strike. China taught Nehru and India a lesson. The Congress's foreign policy at that time was full of debacles and gross mistakes. And this happened because the Prime Minister lacked strategic knowledge and knack of diplomacy. The second example is of the second Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri, who gave the slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Shastri ji was ground to earth person, hailing from the poor family, well educated, very polite, very disciplined. Shastri ji led the country during Indo-Pakistan War of 1965. But unfortunately, Shastri ji had gone to Tashkent, Uzbekistan, then falling under Soviet Union. He died on 11th January 1966, a day after signing the peace treaty of ending the Indo-Pakistan War. The sudden death of Hale and Hearty Shastri ji raised many suspicions in the minds of the citizens of India. Many supporters and close relatives did not believe the circumstances of the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri. The allegations were of a foul play in murdering the Prime Minister of India. There are plenty of evidences to suggest that Prime Minister Shastri did not die a natural death. Shastri ji was in good health. He did not have any ailment. He did not have any history of heart disease. When his body was brought to India, the body had turned blue. The blueness suggested that he was poisoned. The role of KGB or CIA in killing Indian Prime Minister on a foreign land when he was on a diplomatic mission. And a hoodwinking at the most important event by the government raises more suspicion in this matter. No postmortem was done. There were no serious investigations. And this example of sudden death or the murder of the Prime Minister by sabotage makes us believe that India cannot believe Russia. Russia has launched a war against its counterpart Ukraine, and this war has entered into 478 day today, the longest battle in the history of the world. The reports in the press prove that Russia has use deliberate and widespread torture mechanism in the war. The children and families of Ukraine have endured escalating violence, trauma, destruction, and displacement due to war. The 478-day-old war has damaged the critical infrastructure in Ukraine. The reports from UN agency and various reports in various media in the press are sufficient to prove that Russia is flouting child protection principles in Ukraine. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees have agreed to this. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is the international agency which works for the aid and protection of refugees. It tries to support the forcibly displaced communities and stateless peoples. This world agency assists in voluntary repatriation of the displaced people. It also tries for resettlement of war-affected citizens in the third country. The international reports hold a proof that Russia has moved Ukrainian children from orphanages, homes, and is trying to give them Russian nationality. There are reports in the press that allege that Russian citizens have been assigned the job of sheltering such Ukrainian children in their house. The Russian citizens have been also assigned the job to change the mindset of the Ukrainian citizens to accept Russian citizenship. The children are being lured by the families in Russia that they will get toys, schooling, gifts if they follow the directions of the Russian families. Whatever is being done by Russia for the children or against the children is against the fundamental principles of child protection in war situation. UNHCR is of the opinion that Russia is violating the fundamental principles of child protection by giving them Russian passports and putting them for adoption by Russia. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who spoke to the world people, the world agencies, and requested the world agencies to defend and return the children and adults forcefully deported to Russia. The Ukrainian president has also requested for punishment to those responsible for taking children and families to Russia. The fight between Russia and Ukraine, supported by European Union, is an ego fight. And due to this ego fight, the common people and especially the children in Ukraine are suffering beyond limit. As a result of this war, the European Union countries are facing financial and energy crisis. The European Union countries' economy has also slowed down. You will see a picture of a Ukrainian child in a home whose door panes are shattered. But the children in other countries are also going to suffer due to direct or indirect effects of war between the two countries. What United Nations agencies are doing is not sufficient to mend the loss. And hence, the child in the shattered plane behind the closed door and his reaction is appealing the humanity to bury the ego, to bury the pride that is baseless, that is working against humanity, and to try for peaceful solution. Because the war has never helped anybody, nor the winning country or the defeated countries. The war between Ukraine and Russia is the war against humanity, and this must stop. Peaceful solutions are there if European Union, America, Russia give up their egoistic attitude and look back with an humanitarian outlook. Thank you.